She's a force the media can't seem to contain. Karoline Leavitt shows every day why she's perfectly cut out for this role. As press secretary, she isn't just answering questions. She's dismantling media spin right in front of the cameras. From calling out the Associated Press for slandered reporting to setting the record straight on Canadian tariffs, she's holding mainstream outlets accountable in a way we've rarely seen. Today, we're looking at some of her latest standout moments, including the way she went after Ontario's premier for his aggressive remarks.
Step back for a second. When President Trump last addressed the BRT when he was on the campaign trail, his big push was on tax cuts. He's going there today as he's proposing tax hikes in the form of tariffs. I'm curious why he's prioritizing that over the tax cuts.
He's actually not implementing tax hikes. Tariffs are a tax hike on foreign countries that, again, have been ripping us off. Tariffs are a tax cut for the American people, and the president is a staunch advocate of tax cuts. As you know, he campaigned on no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security benefits. He is committed to all three of those things, and he expects Congress to pass them later this year.
That was an Associated Press reporter. And honestly, their claim that the Trump administration is somehow threatening free speech is laughable, because they're still sitting front row at press briefings, firing off the same low-quality questions as always now. Let's clear the air on tariffs. The media loves to paint them as a disaster, but that's not reality. Sure, a handful of prices may tick up, but it's not economic collapse. In fact, higher costs on imports often push Americans to buy American-made goods, which means more sales, more jobs, and more hiring here at home. And don't forget, foreign producers sometimes cut their own prices just to keep a foothold in the U.S. market. So it's never as black and white as the press pretends. The reporter didn't like that answer one bit and tried again.
Have you ever paid a tariff? Because I have. They don't get charged on foreign companies, they get charged on the importers.
And ultimately, when we have fair and balanced trade, which the American people have not seen in decades, as I said at the beginning, revenues will stay here, wages will go up, and our country will be made wealthy again. And I think it's insulting that you are trying to test my knowledge of economics and the decisions that this president has made. I'm now regret giving a question to the Associated.
Big mistake. They keep underestimating Karoline, forgetting she's got a political science degree with a background in economics. Translation? She actually knows what she's talking about on tariffs. Trump clearly has a strategy. Some believe he plans to use that revenue to extend the 2018 tax cuts, or even roll out fresh ones. And let's not forget, on day one, he signed an executive order directing the Treasury, Commerce, and Homeland Security secretaries to investigate the feasibility of establishing and recommending the best methods for designing, building, and implementing an external revenue service to collect tariffs, duties, and other foreign trade-related revenues. Meanwhile, the mainstream media acts like spokespeople for foreign governments, ignoring the bigger picture. Oh! And yes, Peter Doocy was there too, with his own questions.
President Trump says he's going to buy a Tesla today. Did he buy it? And when is the last time he drove a car?
That's a very good question. I have heard the president remark that he misses being able to drive, that luxury of driving his own vehicle, although the beast is nice, but he is going to be viewing a Tesla that is making its way to the White House complex now, I can confirm. Perhaps the press pool today will have an opportunity to witness this very exciting moment later this afternoon, but a Tesla is on its way here now, and we'll see if the president likes it when he checks.
So yes, a Tesla actually pulled up at the White House. And Trump? He loved it. He was ready to buy it. Full price, no discounts, no favors. Remember, this is a man who hasn't driven in years. Former presidents aren't clear to drive on public roads. So the simple act of sitting in a new electric car lit him up like a kid again. In true Trump fashion, the whole moment instantly turned into meme material.
They're bringing him a Tesla to look at, and if he likes it, he's just going to buy it.
You know, he's definitely going to buy one, but he'll take a look at it when it gets here later this afternoon.
Full retail?
Yes, full market price.
That Tesla visit came right after the wave of outrage Elon Musk faced for appearing close to Trump. And of course, Trump spun the whole thing into fresh viral content. As he climbed into the Model S, his exact words were, Wow, it's all computer. And honestly, who can blame him? He probably hasn't touched the steering wheel since around 2015, thanks to Secret Service restrictions. Realistically, the man hasn't needed to drive since the 1980s or 90s. Naturally, social media exploded with memes built around that one-liner. But then the topic shifted back to Canada, and Karoline's handling of the press on that issue was razor sharp.
Decision to increase the tariffs, is that based on a specific economic metric that he looked at? Is it impulse? How would you describe his reaction to Canada?
The president has not yet spoken to Mr. Carney, not since I checked, which was just moments ago. But certainly his phone is always open to leaders who wish to speak with him. As for the tariffs, the president made his position on this quite clear with the statement that he put out. And it was a retaliatory statement due to the escalation of rhetoric that we've seen out of Ontario, Canada.
The truth was simple. Trump hadn't called Prime Minister Carney yet, but his message to Canada was loud and clear. These tariffs weren't random. They were a direct response to the fiery rhetoric out of Ontario, especially from Premier Doug Ford. Trump's philosophy is straightforward. If foreign leaders come out swinging, he swings back harder, always putting America's interests first.
The president saw the Premier, Doug Ford, make an egregious and insulting comment threatening to shut down electricity for the American people, for hardworking American families. He made that threat. The president saw that and has an obligation and a responsibility to respond accordingly and represent the interests of the American people. So he has made the decision to add a 25% tariff. So now steel and aluminum tariffs will come into effect tomorrow at the rate of 50%.
Ford badly miscalculated. He assumed Trump was bluffing about tariffs if Canada retaliated. But he clearly hadn't learned from the White House standoff with Zelensky. If he had, he would have thought twice. After threatening to cut off electricity exports to the U.S., Ford found himself slapped with extra tariffs, not just on Ontario, but across all of Canada. That escalation forced a quick retreat. Canada backed down, and the U.S. scrapped the planned 25% increase. Karoline came fully prepared with receipts, and she didn't hesitate to lay them all out for press.
And insulting are your words here, but that's what many Canadian leaders have said about the actions President Trump has taken toward Canada. And what do you think the timeline is for speaking to Mr. Carney? Because normally a sitting president speaks to a close ally very quickly when there's new leadership.
Well, the president is, again, responding to the fact that Canada has been ripping off the United States of America and hardworking Americans for decades. If you look at the rates of tariffs across the board that Canadians have been imposing on the American people and our workers here, it is egregious.
Normally, a U.S. president would roll out the red carpet to build goodwill with a new ally, not Trump. He's tearing up the old script. His message is blunt. For decades, trade has been tilted against the U.S., and it's time to stop. The numbers don't lie. Canadian tariffs on American goods are steep. To Trump, that's not partnership. That's exploitation. And he's saying loud and clear that America won't be taken advantage of anymore.
I have a handy-dandy chart here that shows not just Canada, but the rate of tariffs across the board. If you look at Canada, since you brought it up, American cheese and butter, nearly 300% tariff. You look at India, 150% tariff on American alcohol. You think that's helping Kentucky bourbon be exported into India? I don't think so. President Trump believes in reciprocity, and it is about dang time that we have a president who actually looks out for the interests of American businesses and work.
Here's the kicker. Prime Minister Carney still hadn't spoken directly with Trump when this video was recorded. Instead, he was playing politics at home, even as Trump's policies stirred up Canadian voters. And with Carney trailing Pierre Poilievre in the polls, his position is already shaky Karoline cut right through the noise, showing how mainstream media isn't just biased. They're practically working as cheerleaders for foreign leaders over American workers. But now, I want to hear from you. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want your friends getting their news from an independent voice, hit that share button. It really helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.